And we are back with another picks and predictions video for UFC Fight Night Evloev versus Murphy. Last week we went 11-14 in terms of picking the winner, but 0-5 in terms of the bets. Terrible performance, but we're going to bounce back this week. Starting off at the strawweight division, we have Shanelle Dyer set to face off against Ravena Oliveira. The odds heavily favor Shanelle Dyer, and I think she's a superior striking and is deserving of those odds. I think she gets it done by decision. On to the next one at the lightweight division between Shamrock and Selwady. I really like the side of Selwady here. I think Shamrock is not as good of a striker. I don't think he is able to get takedowns. I think Selwady is going to pressure him like what he did against Hardwick in the Contender Series. Get takedowns and just control him for the entirety of the fight. I also think he's a better striker, so give me Selwady to win, placing a bet on Selwady. Next up, we're going to the heavyweights where we have Louie Sutherland set to face off against Brando Pericic. I really like the side of the city kickboxing prospect in Brando Pericic. I think he gets the job done here against Louie Sutherland. I think he manages to get a ground and pound finish inside the first. No bet on the fight, but I do think Brando Pericic gets it done. On to the middleweights where we have Antonio Trocoli set to face off against Mantas Kondratavicius. I really like the side of Mantas here. I think he manages to get an early finish against Trocoli. It's really a stepping stone kind of fight. The UFC is laying it up for him to get a spectacular finish, placing a bet on Mantas to win under 1.5. Next up, we're going to the heavyweights yet again where we have Mario Pinto set to face off against Felipe Franco. Mario Pinto is a superior striker, grappler. He has better fight IQ. Felipe Franco coming off a loss in the Contender Series against Vidal. I really like the side of Pinto for this one. I think he gets a knockout inside the first round. Next up, we're going to the featherweights where we have Nathaniel Wood set to face off against Losene Keita. Losene Keita is a very, very talented prospect whose only loss comes by way of injury. Nathaniel Wood is coming off a nice victory against Jose Delgado, but that victory is not aging as well as I thought it would after his fight against Andre Touchy-Feely. I like the side of Losene Keita here. I think he manages to get a finish against Nathaniel Wood, but it's definitely one you should stay away from in terms of betting. I don't think it's going to be an easy battle for him. I think the UFC is giving him a tough matchup because he missed weight against Patricio Pitbull and got that fight canceled. Nathaniel Wood, he has great fight IQ, very crafty striking. He can definitely catch Losene Keita, make him tentative, but Keita's style, he's very pressure heavy, and I think he manages to get a finish against Nathaniel Wood and boost his way closer to the rankings. Next up, we're going to the lightweights where we have Mason Jones set to face off against Axel Sola. I really like the side of Mason Jones here. I think his pressure is going to reign supreme against Axel Sola. Axel Sola looked really good in his debut at the welterweight division against Reese McKee where he got the finish. But stylistically, I really like the side of Mason Jones here, placing a bet on Mason Jones to get the job done. On to the featherweights where we have Curtis Campbell set to face off against Danny Silva. I really like the side of Curtis Campbell here. I think he manages to get the fight down to the ground and control Danny, land ground and pound shots, and get the nod on the judges' scorecards. Danny Silva has proven to be a very, very durable fighter. Look against Kevin Vallejos. He made Kevin Vallejos look like he's not really much of a finisher, and Kevin Vallejos proved completely differently in the last fight against Josh Emmett. Finished Josh Emmett in early fashion, unlike anyone else. That just speaks to how durable Danny Silva is. Curtis Campbell to get the victory. No bet on the fight because he can get a finish inside the distance, but I definitely see it going to decision. Next up, we're going to the middleweights where we have Roman Dolidze set to face off against Christian Leroy Duncan. And Duncan has been looking like a really, really different fighter to what we've seen since his debut. His striking is looking crisp. Roman Dolidze, he's primarily a grappler who entertains the striking a lot. I see Christian Leroy Duncan stuffing any takedowns that Dolidze throws his way and land some really solid shots. Powerful enough to put him away, but it's definitely one you should stay away from in terms of betting because Duncan likes to style on fighters a bit. So he can land solid shots and then emote on him, then cruise his way to a decision victory, or he can land a really solid shot that puts Dolidze out. I see Christian Leroy Duncan winning by decision. No bet on the fight. Next up, we're going to Iwo Baraniewski set to face off against Austin Lane at the light heavyweight division. I really like the side of Iwo here. I think Ewo puts him out inside the first, placing a bet on Ewo to win in the first round. Next up, we're going to the middleweights where we have Michael Venom Page set to face off against Sam Patterson. I really like the side of Michael Venom Page here. I think his striking is phenomenal. I think Sam Patterson leaves himself open to being hit. I don't think Sam is going to be able to take the fight down. I think Michael stays out of the pocket long enough. And when Sam Patterson tries to come in, Michael catches him and puts him out, wins by KO, placing a bet on Page to win. Next up, we're going to the featherweights where we have Luke Riley set to face off against Michael Aswell Jr. I really like the side of Luke Riley here. I think the UFC has matched him up very favorably in the co-main event, placing a bet on Luke Riley to win. Luke Riley, he did show a lot of grit and toughness in his debut, and he got the finish. Michael Aswell in his last fight, he looked really dominant against Oliveira, Lucas Almeida. He looked really dominant there, but that's no show as to how great he is because I believe Lucas was injured. I think Luke Riley picks him apart in the striking and puts him out early, placing a bet on Luke Riley to win. On to the main event where we have Movsar Evloev set to face off against Lerone Murphy, and this is supposed to be for the number one contender spot, but I can see the UFC just giving the number one contender spot to John Silva, and the winner of this fight is just going to be put out for way longer before he gets that deserved title shot. We have Movsar, a wrestler who never finished a fight at the UFC level, against Lerone Murphy, who's primarily a decision merchant who gets finishes here and there. I see Movsar getting takedowns early, controlling Lerone Murphy for the first couple of rounds, and Lerone's going to turn it up a little bit later. It's going to be close coming down to the end of it, but Movsar is going to get second win and get the fight down, control him, and win the fifth. I think this fight goes to decision. I think Movsar wins that one. Lerone Murphy is live for a finish, but placing a bet on Movsar to win by decision. And that has been my picks and predictions for UFC Fight Night Evloev versus Murphy. Be sure to leave a like. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments down below. Subscribe. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Twitter. Support the channel on the Patreon. And I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, game time.